I mean, they all spent a lot of years adventuring and a lot of years amassing wealth and power, and he thought putting a lot of that wealth and power to good use. He, in particular, managed to build ties between the prime material world he came from and the one that Eric and Khalil came from, managed to link them both to Bytopia, where he also spent quite a lot of time.
Sorry, you'll perk up a little bit at that.
See, now that's a plane.
He says that, as best he can figure, somewhere along the line, the 8 of them did something wrong and are being punished. And that this obsession is a punishment.
Well,
do you know anything about spiders?
He says he's not particularly fond of spiders.
Punished by what? A power?
He doesn't know.
But I mean, did any of them figure into your adventures at any point? Anything
stand out?
Stand out, yeah. Jump to mind.
I'm sure you guys killed some spiders here or there at some point in the campaign.
All right.
But no, nothing springs to mind. He has great stories about spider monsters that live in the woods that he's managed to hunt down before.
So you've never met an Aunt Nancy or anything like that?
He doesn't have an Aunt Nancy.
Okay.
well, he's my aunt. He's her aunt, and he's her aunt, and he is our aunt, apparently. Still not sure how that all works out, but...
And Zook said he's very glad to hear that your aunt is in good health.
Well...
When do you intend to leave for your homestead?
He tells you that if it's your intention to stay in the woods and see this druid problem solved, that by the time that problem is solved, though your heart is in a good place, though your mind may only want good, if that's your intention, then you will never leave these woods. There will always be a new battle to fight, always be a new war to wage, and always be a new threat over the horizon. He
Not
says,
really the question I asked. I just wanted to know how much time I have to say goodbye to these people.
well, his answer to your question is that he is willing to leave immediately. But he's not going to wait forever. And if it's your intention to embark on a quest to save Terran, he would do so sooner than later. Step one would be going back to Blue Worm and talking some sense into that fool Eric.
All right,
Yeah, right. How did that talk with him go? With Eric go? That's been about a month, but how'd it go?
Who are you asking?
You.
I think
Eric,
he's
right.
asking Riot, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Badly?
Somehow that doesn't surprise me.
Would you describe him as
It's not
terrible?
my fault. Yeah, he was terrible.
Yeah, alright.
I made what I thought were some very good points about Ostrom, and he just shrugged me off.
And Zook says you have to remember, Eric is an old man. And he's seen and experienced a great deal in this world and in worlds beyond. And he says the impetuousness of youth does not move him. What you thought were good points, Eric may have seen as foolishness.
Over Zook's head, Mahogany's just mouthing to Riot. Terrible.
Who are your enemies?
He just laughs. He says, well, half of the forest, for starters.
I mean,
Yeah, but, I mean...
I don't know, they seem
I
big
think-
fans of you.
Yeah, it seems like most people we've run into. I guess maybe we travel in the right circles.
But I mean, like... This devil came to collect Terran, right?
He nods.
It's a pretty big enemy to have, right?
And he says, well, that's the that's the funny thing about the situation is the devil was not our enemy. He was an ally at one point. Only begrudgingly did Terran enter a pact with him. And we received his aid in several matters.
Why? No.
Wait, so Terran entered a pact with him? Was he like a devil warlock?
Yeah, that sounds right.
So why would you do that? Why would anyone willingly do that?
Yeah,
It's the dumbest. That's the dumbest thing.
Devils tend to keep their bargains, so just don't make
Yes,
bad
that
ones.
seems to have worked so well for him.
Yeah, I'm sure.
They'll
if
be pulled down to the 9 L's after
Yeah, I'm
they're
sure
done.
I'm sure when
Maybe
we run
Terran's
into
just really bad at bargaining.
Certainly kind of shrugs and nods.
Hey, Zook. This is a lot of question I have for Zook.
Okay.
How long ago was this? That's not the actual question. That's a preface.
How long ago was what?
This mission of yours to save Terran that went so badly.
He doesn't know because the forest he lives in now tends to distort time. So every time he goes back to Blue Worm, a different amount of time has passed. So he doesn't know how many years it would have been for Eric.
But for you,
In gnome years.
In gnome years.
I don't like how in dog years it's 1 year every 7 years in dog years.
Let me double check here.
All the Zook and gnome years.
Well, you gotta cut him in half and count the rings.
No, that would be a half no.
I think it's pronounced genome.
This would have been...
I'm sorry.
Oh, you know what? I did misspeak earlier because I didn't have my timeline. I was going off memory. Terran was not the last one to vanish. It was Eldav, then Terran, then Fred, then Jade last.
okay.
So for Terran, it would have been about 30 years ago or so. And Jade
for
about
you?
20. For Zook, he says he doesn't keep track of that sort of thing anymore. He's in retirement. He says counting sunrises holds no more interest to him.
Sounds
But
like
it all-
someone doesn't need a dragon's horde, if you get what I mean. Sorry, go ahead.
In all that time, have you put any thought into a different plan? Since clearly a full frontal assault won't work.
And he says, "My lady, I am but a humble gnome." No, he's saying no. He doesn't have a better
Yeah.
plan.
Okay.
He says
Well,
that...
it's almost good in a way to know that you and your companions failed in fighting an army, because we're not you and your companions. We would never have a hope of achieving that in the first place.
We'd never fight an army.
Some other plan would be necessary.
He says that he's never made an effort into looking into like a roguish way to attempt it, like sneaking into the fortress or whatever. And the reason he hasn't is because all of the information he's been able to dig up on high-level devils during his time in Sigil and also back at home in the libraries in Kiska, that the task of infiltrating one of these places is so beyond impossible. It's the roguish equivalent of, say, facing down the army with brute strength.
Right.
The magical protections alone would take a lifetime to get through. He says, at one point, Kelian floated the idea that the enemy of my enemy is my friend. That they had learned of a race of demons called the Tenari. That, if they approached them in the right way, would be open to an assault on this hellish fortress. Zook and Eric and Daniel shot the idea down because the enemy of my enemy is what got them in this position in the first place.
Yeah.
So they stopped shy of making some kind of alliance with the Tenari.
And they never considered the Celestials. I mean, I know the Blood War doesn't typically go that deep, but it is a three-sided affair.
Daniel tried that angle for many years. And he recounts some of the stories you already know of Blood War sorties that you've heard about, especially from Akazriel. And Zook doesn't know about Akazriel and his stories, but you guys are able to put two and two together. Those sorties were one and the same. looking for weaknesses in this particular devil's army. And that's where Akazriel lost many of his companions, and that's where many of his companions were then turned around and sold to Jandar. So that avenue has been tried and found lacking.
So we got to come up with another plan.
Zook.
Well, hold on.
Uh-oh.
Are we... Correct me if I'm wrong, but what we're doing right now is we're trying to get everyone because Daniel wants us to, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Why are we coming up with all these plans to go rescue Terran? I don't remember that being in the works.
You got somewhere along the line. That's what you guys decided you wanted to do.
Was part of the game. Wasn't it?
The
I
chain
thought
of
it was
events.
part of the game.
The chain of events. We don't know it's part of the game. The chain of events was we met the Watcher,
Mm-hmm.
who was Khalil. We asked Khalil for his help,
He wanted us
Yeah.
to help Daniel.
and he wanted us to help Daniel, because apparently that was our sin.
Sure.
Sin.
Right.
Is doing all of this because she thinks she can turn Khalil onto the corrupt elements within the Mercy Killers.
Yeah.
So that's where all this traces back to for Riot. She also theorizes that it may be part of the game, but there's no evidence for that.
Right. So we're going from place to place to place, and so far as I can tell, the people that we've talked to, we're ending at let's go get everyone, bring them back to Daniel, and then maybe he has a plan to go hit Terran. We don't know.
Well, when we first met Khalil called us the players.
Yeah, that's also
Yeah.
true.
So if we bring
And
everyone
let's-
back to Daniel like Daniel wants, then we can go hit up Khalil again. And he can't be a dick to us anymore, because I remember him saying, oh, this will clear your sin and all that. He was very
Sin.
very concerned about sins.
Clearly, Kelian's very concerned about sins too.
So
You should
Everyone's
not do that.
concerned about sins.
so maybe we should just stick to what the thing that's right in front of us? Rather than
Yeah.
planning for five ways down the line?
Spoken like a cipher.
Hey, it's probably the best idea we have at this point.
So, bottom
How
line
about
that
it,
for
Zook?
me.
How about it, Zook? You want to come back to
Mahogany
the
is
city
saying-
doors with us?
Mahogany is saying, like, we should just do what we came here to do. Collect everyone, bring them back to Daniel like Daniel wants. Maybe Daniel has a plan. We don't know. We're sitting here coming up with plans to go get Terran. But for right now, well, like, the only thing we came here to do is bring everyone to Daniel, because that's what Daniel wanted.
Was it everyone? Everyone? Or was it
Well,
It was
I-
Zook in particular.
Zook in particular? Okay.
There's Miss Fluffy Bottom.
Zook says that what he'll do in the near future is go back to Blue Worm with you and talk some sense into Eric.
Yeah.
That sounds like a good start.
All right.
He says he would not want to journey to Mount Celestia without Eric. Anyway, he's not sure if you guys have been there, but it's
Yeah,
a
we've been
pretty
there.
awful place.
It's terrible. It's terrible, right?
We're familiar with it, yes.
I hate it so much.
Half of you still have a flaw that reads Mount Celestia seeks to bring me to justice.
Yeah. Mount Celestia's terrible. We're
Right.
all in agreement there.
It's pretty bad.
I mean, it didn't start off that bad, but no, at this point, I agree.
It escalated.
No, I wasn't chaotic the first time we went there, so the ocean's
Well,
not great.
it didn't really escalate. It was about as tall when we got there as when we left. I mean, it was
No,
a mountain.
not
elevate.
elevates. Escalate.
Oh, okay.
Here's what intrigues Zook about you lot. He only spent a little bit of time in the City of Doors. Amongst his group, it was Khalil, Jade, and Fred who spent the most time there. And through all of their adventures after they came into their power, seeking down magical secrets, learning how to open portals, piloting around this walking hut, terraforming a continent to run a river through it. Anytime they sought advice or help or aid for any of those things, in Sigil or in the planes beyond, it always came with some kind of catch, some kind of philosophical baggage.
Right.
And what intrigues him about you guys is you're all sitting here and you remind him a lot of he and his companions. But there's more of a purity to you that, not to put too fine a point of it, but you don't carry that stink of the City of Doors, where everybody's looking out for theirs.
Riot just laughs and says, "How you don't know me very well yet, do you?"
Yeah,
And
you don't.
Mahogany
You
is
really
real,
don't
and he
know
goes,
us.
Kelian's a real
So
number.
we remind you of your party? And Mahogany looks mortified, because he's met most of those people, and they're all the worst.
To be fair, you haven't met all of them.
Hey,
Serenity just says, Kelian's a real work too, but the thing is, everyone here knows exactly what everyone else here is trying to do, and we just work around it.
yeah, it's tricky. Like we've had some damn good fights. Me and
Of
Riot
the
anyway.
entire group, the only one that Mahogany likes at all is Zook, because at least he's honest about who he is.
We've had some damn good fights between the lot of us. So, but no, I think we can still work past it.
So Zook's going to travel back with you. And here's what he wants from you guys.
Ugh.
If this is something that you're going to dedicate yourself to, it's going back and retrieving Eric, going back and visiting Daniel, he says there's not a lifetime to solve all the problems in this forest. He knows this from experience. Personally, he's not too terribly worried about this druid threat. And even if the druids do succeed, even if, God forbid, the Swan Maze are wiped out, or the Fairbow tribes, or whoever it is, some greater force of light and good will come to eradicate them. The forest keeps its balance that way. If you were to dedicate your life to righting the wrongs of this forest, it is a noble goal, and he would back you up. But it sounds like that's not what your group is looking to do.
Not even the slightest.
No.
Well, maybe a little. Do you know any dwarven engineers out in the mountains?
And Riot smacks Serenity.
He has many
worth
friends.
asking.
He has many friends amongst the dwarves, but again, if you're going to pursue goals amongst the dwarf home, you will be losing sight.
But Mahogany says,
No,
personally,
need
I don't care about the evils of this forest. It's the fact that the druids are perverting the forest itself that bothers me.
And what was Serenity saying?
I just need someone to basically put them in contact with the Swan May. Like, even if you can just give someone a name and description so they can cast Ascending. That's how it works, right, Riot? Name and description?
No, it requires a lot more than that.
25 words? That's the one?
Zook says that he'll put his name on a missive that you can send out to the dwarf homes.
That's good enough for me.
So what is Riot's decision about the druids?
Riot is willing to believe what Zook is saying about them, but she wants a little bit more time to speak to the Swan before they leave.
Well, nobody's leaving here until everybody's rested up, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Because nobody's...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Half the group's at 1 hit point covered in acid burns.
Basically.
I'm just
So-
really glad that you changed that from nobody's okay to half the group's not okay.
How does Serenity leave things with Dathlu?
Serenity is going to try again to go with, was it Hamaya's plan to dam the river?
Halima.
Halima? I'm
It's
just
one of
trying to
those
remember
two.
which of the three. Yeah,
Yeah, it was-
so she's going to go again with the idea that, hey, if you hire to do it, they can collapse the dam after you've dealt with the druids. So basically, she'll go back to that plan again, now that there's maybe a way to get in contact with them.
I want
And
to...
aside from that, again, she has no particular intent in staying here and getting married.
Okay. I do want to hit the fast forward button on the Swan Maze just a little bit to wrap it all up. Does anybody else have any ideas for like throwing a wrench into the Swan Maze plans here? Does anybody else try to influence their direction at all, other than what
Yeah.
Serenity just did? Riot.
I'm gonna do two things.
Okay.
One, this doesn't really influence the Serenity's plan. But the
Okay.
whole angle Riot has been working this entire time has been to try and get some influence of Ostrom into the Swan Maze.
Okay.
And so Riot wants to talk to Gestra and kind of try and work that angle of, and work the angle of, it is partially through Ostrom's grace that you survive the dragon attack on your home.
Make a charisma religion check.
Okay.
What's your plus on that?
I would have to look. I'll look into that green thing. Charisma religion. So that's a +7. Okay.
Hey, you're better than Eric.
Here comes that nat 20.
That's it's a 14.
Gestra and some of the other Swan Maze are open to your words. They don't accept Ostrom as their savior goddess, but they do give Ostrom her due as far as Ostrom's part in
And the other
protecting
the other
Dathlu and healing the wounded after the fight with the dragon. So what you're
And the
able
other-
to do is leave some songs with the Swan Maze singing the praise of Ostrom.
Okay, and this is partially what I spent that banana on too.
Okay.
Was to have them at least not like, I don't want to convert the entire Swan Maze into Ostrom. I just want to make sure that they continue to give Ostrom some reverence.
Oh, was this your banana action?
Yes.
In that case, then they all convert to Ospronism. No, that's they are
because
blown away by
I
it.
play up the fact that like when you were in trouble, where did you go? You went to the lake under the lake. You went to the water. You're swans. you need to factor this stuff in.
No, if this is your banana action, then no. All these entire Swan May, they are
Nice.
they convert over.
Okay.
I even checked my email this morning. I'm expecting an email from Nick about the banana update. I didn't see it.
Do the math. There, your water. It's great.
No, yeah, don't worry about no religion check in that case.
Okay.
No, the
and
Swan May
other
are
thing
all
I'm gonna-
gung ho about it.
The other thing I'm going to do is cast Ascending to, what was this dude's name? Brumram, the
Bumram.
dwarf.
Okay.
Yeah. Ascending is your family's armor is waiting for you at the Swan May temple. The condition for its retrieval is you must not allow your kind to dam the river.
And the response is something along the lines of, "Why would they dam the river anyway? Thank you for retrieving my armor, mysterious stranger." So, anything else done to try to influence the Swan May?
No.
Okay. Here's how the next act of the campaign is going to play out. Because we have to break here in about 20 minutes, and I think this discussion is going to take more than 20 minutes anyway.
Well,
The
that's
next-
why we decided to stop a half hour early so we'd have time.
Well, I always try to stop at 6:30, but we have 20 minutes until 6:30. It's 6:11 now.
Yeah.
You're able to travel back to Blue Worm with Zook. And he is able to talk some sense into Eric. With Zook by your side, Eric gives you the time of day. And between your group's knowledge of the workings of Sigil and the Outer Planes, and Zook talking you guys up about the heroism of your trek through the forest, and he knows a great deal more about your journey than he let on at first. Zook believes that with the help of the Plane Talkers, you may have a shot at rescuing Terran. That is deemed too dangerous a task to embark on immediately, though.
Oh, yeah.
Zook and Eric both have theorized for a long time that their 3 other companions are still alive, just lost. And so, the choice you guys have to make now, it's decided between the 2 of them that seeking them out and rescuing them from wherever they landed is a prudent course of action. So the next 3 major adventures of the campaign will be seeking Fred, Eldov, and Jade. in whichever order you all desire.
I'm up for Eldos.
Walking house. Serenity was immediately going to say walking house.
Yeah, I'm a feral dove.
As soon as someone says it can walk between the planes, Serenity's in.
The walking house is like the only interesting thing Riot has ever heard of that happened in a Prime Material world.
Here's the thing, though, is the reason why it's interesting is because its main feature is that it can leave the prime material.
So here's some information that might not, but might influence your decision. You don't have any leads on Eldov yet.
Yeah.
So the first leg of that journey will be trying to figure out what went wrong.
Right, what's wrong?
Fred is apparently went missing in a place that you guys have some unfinished business, shall we say? And most notably, you learn from Zook, and then you can confirm this when you return to Sigil as well, that Jade wore the colors of a cipher at the time when they lost contact with her.
That sounds about right.
I feel like of Fred, Jade, and Eldov, the one that we all, I'm pretty sure, know what happened to her and where she went was Jade.
Would we call her Jade or would we call her Bull? That's your decision.
My preference would be to call her Jade Bull.
That's 2 syllables. That's way too many.
I know you don't like it. That's why I haven't raised the ruckus. But since you asked,
I will point out that it's the exact same amount of syllables as what we called her for an entire campaign. So I think we can probably pull through.
I will then point out that it was always Nick's preference to call her Horned Orphan, which is an extra syllable.
And I never made a fuss about that either.
And we could just climb that ladder all the way up until we're at 18 syllables.
Which still has fewer syllables than Mahogany.
So, you have access to Eric and Zook. Zook will remain in Blue Worm for the time being. What do you do to inform Daniel?
We can cast up Ascending.
Cast Ascending to him?
Yeah. Tell him we've recruited Eric and Zook. They advised recruiting others. We're searching for them now.
And what do you guys... So, don't worry about like individual sendings, because this will take place over an amount of time. Daniel, as well, is obsessed with this idea of rescuing Terran. He feels that he had a chance at it and failed, and he continues to wear that failure. Why is this spitting? This spitting might have to end here. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. I was going blind looking at the screen here. Daniel tells you that when it is time, he will march alongside you. You get no such assurance of that from Zook or Eric.
Well, Zook just told us the same thing. He said if these guys all decide to march on hell tomorrow, I'd be right
Zook
in there.
literally gave us the same assurance.
Yes.
The difference is, Zook said it in the sense that he would give his life for this cause. Daniel said it in the sense that he thinks you'll succeed with his help.
Oh, I see. Okay.
What do you do to inform Khalil?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Yeah.
I mean, what can we do?
Send garbage into the prison with a note.
Wow.
Just a pile of apple cores falls on his head, and they spell something out for you.
Yeah, he pulls it across. It just says, "Daniel's cool with us now."
Lay off.
Play off.
I mean,
plus since he doesn't really see linear time anyway, like it's
That's
fine.
true.
I
Yeah.
already know that this happened.
this is a mental mess. Like, oh, hey,
Yeah, 'cause-
Khalil, everything's cool now.
No, that's the
Oh.
thing though. Is that
Have you met Baba Yaga yet? What are you talking? Like,
Serenity
whatever.
brings up at one point the fact that he doesn't see in linear time, and Mahogany makes the sound belief that the next time he sees him, no matter what, he'll tell him everything that happened.
I mean, if that's the case, you should probably go visit him then, just to see if he can actually do it.
Yeah. Yeah, but how do we get into the?
And as far as Mahogany's concerned, with that belief, he's as good as told him because he saw it happen.
Now, my intention is for the next session, or maybe two, to do like a good old classic sigil session. But I want to go into that session with the understanding that you guys have already kind of picked a course of action here, so I know which direction to plan things. So we don't necessarily have to go visit Khalil in person. I just want to know like where you guys are at as far as bringing Khalil onto the same page.
All right, just because you're the GM and I don't want to bone you over, I want to point out that there's literally zero chance with 2 ciphers in the party that we're not going to immediately go look into Jade Bowl for at least if we're in Sigil.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even though we don't plan on making that the focus, there's zero chance that me and Serenity aren't going to just hop over to the gymnasium and go like, yo, what's up?
As far as Khalil goes, Riot honestly doesn't see a reason to keep him in the loop on any of this stuff. He's half out of his mind all the time anyway. and so like Daniel deserves status updates. Khalil, we'll get to you when we get to you.
Okay.
Hey, we already told him. And we already post told him.
That makes sense.
If everybody's gonna
let me ask
go.
this. How does Eric and Daniel and Zook feel about us not keeping Khalil in the loop?
They have ways of contacting Khalil.
Okay.
So if you guys personally don't do it, probably Daniel still will.
Yeah,
Okay.
That's fine.
That is more than enough as far
Okay.
because
The curious thing is, upon traveling all the way back down to the south, the woods here, with the actually, you know what I'll do? Let's just now that we're not using this map anymore, let's just pull up. No, it would take too long to actually erase all those little things. I'll just load in the actual map so you guys can see how much we had to work with here. I don't remember where I found this map. This might be one of my favorite like large maps that I've seen. It's pretty nice. So this was the map. And you
Don't
guys
like that upper left. Don't like that much.
This is where you started here. You made your way down into the swamps. The dragon's lair was up in here somewhere. And you guys just followed this river up to the Swan Maze. Zook's hideout, if you hadn't followed the river up and went to the Swan Maze, eventually you would have found enough clues, was along the cliffs over here somewhere. Deep into Hobgoblin territory. There was a great encounter here that I didn't get to use, but I will totally save in the folder and bring it back later. Kind of like how I saved these Swan Maze from the Krigala Hexcrawl.
Nice.
Upon returning the Blue Worm, after you step out of the the tree roots, after you climb back out, literally the acolyte that sent you there had just turned to walk away and is shocked to see you emerge so quickly.
That's super convenient.
Isn't it though?
Wow, that's impressive.
And Mahogany turns to Zook and goes, "That's super convenient."
Yeah, I met guys in green. It was pretty cool. And then I met this guy. Points to Zook.
All right, so the party's intention, because I want to do some hardcore Sigil stuff for at least a session or two. There's a lot of pots still boiling in Sigil that have been untended for a while. But the party's intention is to investigate into Jade's connection with the ciphers. But the first adventure you want to embark on is find the walking hut. Do I have that right?
Yeah.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Am I the only one who doesn't want to find the walking?
Yeah.
What do you want to do?
Not that one, because that seems like it would be the hardest.
It seems like
Would be what?
The hardest, the most difficult.
Now, in terms of out of game, in terms of difficulty, they're going to ramp up in difficulty no matter which order you do them in.
Yeah.
Whichever one you pick, by definition, becomes the easiest.
I think way back, Rick mentioned that if we had chosen back when we were doing the plane hopping stuff, if we had chosen to go to the Abyss first, he had a level 2 Abyss adventure ready to go.
That said, I threw an ancient black dragon at you this session.
And we won.
Take the word easiest with a grain of salt.
I mean, but once we have the hut, everything else becomes easier.
Maybe.
I think there's zero chance that Burkhardt is going to give us that hut twice, given the horrible uses we found for it the first time.
You're also not far enough along in this campaign as you were in the first one when you got your hands on the hut. It's one thing to give that hut to a level 16 party. You guys are like level 10.
Well, we were, but then we killed an ancient black dragon. So let's get to experience.
So yeah, let's give you guys some experience. We'll run down our list here. Let me make a straw poll real quick. Because it is now 6:23. I've got a good sense of what you guys want to do for the next few adventures.
I also feel like you used the wrong phrasing when you said it's the Cypher's intention to go visit the Cyphers. I mean, no, it's not. They're not in Sigil yet. Once they get there, they'll be like, oh, let's go visit the Cyphers.
Cypher's gonna cipher.
Cypher's gonna siph. Alright, here comes a straw poll, chat. You can go here and vote for who you think deserves an extra blip. Blips right now are worth 1050, right? And I expect everybody to be able to level up if when you get back to Sigil easily. I want to thank all my players for indulging me in just a good old-fashioned Prime Material style sequence of adventures here. This did my soul good after a year and a half of running Planescape, and now I'm ready to get back to Planescape. We give one blip for the most creative solution of a session. So who is the most creative this time?
I mean,
dragon for most of it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the help action was actually the most.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because nobody ever uses it.
Yeah. And
When does that ever come
I
up?
totally wasted it, so...
To Mahogany for the help action.
Yeah.
We have one blip for the assist, who furthered the party's goals the most this week.
Mm. I kind of think Kelian did, because he was the one who spent the most time talking to Zook.
Yeah.
Okay.
He furthered Mahogany's goals by telling Zook how shitty he is.
We have one blip for the most badass move of the session.
I
know it didn't work out.
something.
I know it
don't
didn't
remember
work
what it
out
was.
that way. I know it didn't work out that way, but Serenity about to just say no to that dragon with Sentinel right at the end. Just
Yeah, that's
before,
what it was.
just before
Oh yeah, but
Liberation
she
got
totally
bodied.
did kill it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was absolutely the most badass action of
Yeah.
the session.
And one blip for the intangibles.
She almost beat Brickroad because she killed it. Brickroad said, "No, it keeps living." And then Serenity said, "No, it doesn't."
I did give it the Ridley bonus there at the end. Which I think I'm just going to start doing with all major bosses encounters now.
So we have to watch their hit points closely and then jump into their claws. Got it.
Exactly. Right.
I did a nat 1 or nat 20 wake up from death saves. I don't know. I'm just thinking here. I'm just
Wait, what are we on now?
Intangibles.
Intangibles.
I actually enjoyed the banana. I kind of wish I had known what it was for ahead of time when we could have actually interacted with the people some more. But
Yeah, I mean, like, part of that was going to be...
for long form character arc stuff, I think is actually pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Well, the major effect that Banana's going to have on the campaign is that it increases the power of Osprey throughout the planes.
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
now she can maybe retire and not...
No,
Kill off.
I've got to let you go. Like, my plan, spoiler alert, I'm not spending my points on anything that doesn't benefit Osprey anymore. Like, we're talking about the power of belief. All of Riot's belief is going, from now to the end of her year, is going into Osprey.
I feel like you're getting close to the end of that year.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, I don't know.
Well, no, all that didn't count.
Yeah, apparently not. Is it your personal time? Is that what's going on?
No, we decided it was like from water 1 to water 2.
Ah,
Yeah, she gets a year and a day.
Yeah.
Okay, so are we giving Riot the intangibles for that banana?
sure.
Bananarama?
Yeah.
Riot, oh, you know what? We could cue up your wedding song now. That
Oh,
we
yeah.
didn't get a chance to
The
play.
wedding song that never happened.
This would have been part of like her actual efforts to do this, but since I didn't have any chance to make this attempt, I just like, all right, banana.
Let me find it here. Yeah, The Marriage of Wing and Earth. Now, I've actually got this recorded here. All I have to do is play it. It should play automatically through OBS. So I'm going to mute my microphone, and we can all listen to it.
Long ago in golden days, the sun cast down its shining rays
before you say we're
on
not here.
heaven, earth, and
I
sea
think he's playing
alike.
to the stream.
And all was good and all was right. The wings soared high, earth watched from low. What more than that was there to know? Time had passed and water still. In the air there came a chill. The earth could see with sight less clear, for a darkness was drawing near. The wings shook high, earth trembled low, and evil powers approaching slow. Now the dark is at our door, corruption landed at our shore, with air so fogged and earth so choked. What is there to give us hope? The wing looked down, earth searched above, there may be safety in our love. Nothing can wing and earth break. We saw the blessing of the lake, united now in marriage sweet. We trample evil neath our feet. The wing rides high, proud earth below. We banish darkness with love's glow.
And that's the song that would have played at Serenity's lovely wedding. That, and apparently there's a new LC Clone journal that I
Yep.
will read.
Yep,
All
that
right.
happened.
Let's do a belief rundown real quick. Do I have any triple no's today?
I'm pretty sure Serenity's a triple no. There's no really, aside from the combat, she was mostly just nothing else of note. Like,
Any-
all the dwarf stuff happened last time. It's
Any
just an extension of that.
any other no-no-nos? Then let's start with Liberation. Liberation's belief is...
It's not enough to go for the quick fix, but I will do what I can to solve the root problem.
Did
I cannot
Liberation...
always solve them. Yeah.
Did he live that belief this week?
Yeah, the Black Dragon was a pretty big problem, and he could. So once the Black Dragon returned, he did what he could and gave aid to those who were injured.
Okay. Did he learn anything new about his beliefs?
No,
And are they changing?
no.
What is Riot's belief?
The weak cannot expect the strong to protect them without repaying their efforts.
Did Riot live that belief this week?
Yeah,
How
she
so?
got what she wanted out of the Swan May in return for protecting them from the Black Dragons.
And did she learn anything new about her beliefs?
I'm trying to think if there's anything about Zook's speech about you can't do all this other stuff that would have struck a chord with this belief.
So no.
Yeah, we'll say no for now.
And are they changing?
No.
What is Kelian's belief?
Kelian's belief is the best outcome is what benefits me or the party the most, directly proportional to the party's well-being.
This is the belief that keeps growing over time.
That does, yeah.
Did Kelian live this belief this week?
No.
Is it because
But he's-
he couldn't get his hands on Zook's treasure?
That didn't help. Definitely didn't help. But, so over the past few sessions, I've been struggling with his beliefs have been changing, but I don't know to what. But it's all been culminating in the fact that he's really softened.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's not as much of a cold, distant son of a bitch as he used to be. But this session, he realized that. When talking about, when Zook went on about making just hard decisions and you can't stop and help everyone, Kelian had realized, oh wait, yeah, that's a thing I used to be able to do, and for some reason, I can't do that now. And
Okay.
he realized being around this party has made him soft. He's not as ruthless as he used to be. He's not as business-centric, money-centric as he used to be. So that is how they have changed.
Okay, so you're going to have a new belief for us next session?
Yeah.
Okay.
I gotta put it into words, though.
What is Mahogany's belief?
That all things have a perfect state of being, and it's not my place to decide what they are.
And did he live that belief this week?
Yes, and I have a new reasoning for that. I like to come up with new reasonings for how he lived his beliefs every game. And that is that basically the entire fight, it came up during Glyphs. Mahogany's whole, like, act in the fight wasn't so much... He realized this wasn't really his thing. Like, he wasn't able to take out this dragon.
Mm-hmm.
He was able, however, to let the people in the party who this is their thing do what they do best.
Meaning Serenity and Zook and Kelian?
He helped. Basically, he's constantly stayed near the dragon so everyone could get their sneak attack dice. He helped out, trying to give advantage to
Okay.
McDohl.
Did Mahogany learn anything new about his beliefs?
No.
And are they changing?
No.
His new belief is
Liberation,
engineer is correct,
Riots,
team.
and Mahogany take 1 belief point. Kelian, go ahead and take 2 belief points, and we'll get your new belief next week. Let me check the straw poll. We're going to give out a considerably large amount of experience.
It's 6 for a banana, right?
Yes.
It is 6 for banana, and you have to
That's
change
also
the
a
point.
max.
Riot and Kelian are tied on the straw poll right now. Tied.
Are they?
3 and
What?
3.
Whatever. I'm not above pity blips. I get it. I was missing. I'm fine with that.
Everybody can take, this is your encounter experience for the dragon. I took into account that the dragon was weakened by the time you guys started fighting him. I did nerf the dragon a little bit. Not the damage, other stuff. For example, I made sure it only took 1 legendary action around, and I only gave it 2 uses of legendary resistance instead of 3.
I noticed that, by the way. I heard
Yeah.
you say it saves twice,
Yep.
and then you start rolling.
And then you rolled, yeah. I also noticed that.
So taking that into account and splitting the experience 7 ways, everybody walks out with 3,750 experience. I also lowered its hit points considerably because it had already been wounded by the time it showed up. So 3750. Riots.
Mhm.
You've got 2 blips, 1 for your song, 1 for the intangibles. Liberation, you've got 1 for the LC clone blog. Kelian gets 1 for assists. Serenity gets 1 for badass. Mahogany gets 1 for creative. And
How much is a blip worth?
1050.
Thank you.
If it pushes you over your threshold, go ahead and do any leveling up you need to do. We'll just enter the next session with everybody having done that as downtime already.
Okay.
Okay.
This is a good level for Riot.
I just went back
Yep,
and
me
looked at the
too.
straw poll, and now it's still tied, Riot and Kelian, 5-5. So 4 people went and voted, but
I may have gone and voted.
I'm not voting. I can't play favorites. My favorite's Liberation. There we go, Kelian. Kelian,
Aww,
you get the extra
that
blip.
makes me happy. Situation.
Thank you.
Yeah, so next week we will actually, let me give you guys the actual date. You will be returning to Sigil in case anybody cares about that.
Oh,
Chat
I
is
do.
my favorite.
I do.
I love you, chat.
Actually, I think I'm the one who cast that vote.
I guess I love you too, McDohl.
Aww.
Almost level 12. It's
Almost
already level 11.
got to make a new...
12. Yeah, 5,000 short.
Yeah, I'm at 11 now.
I was 11 at the start of the session if I'd leveled up, but I'm just haven't had a
Yeah.
chance in a while.
I've almost got to make a new calendar. We're almost to the end of the Sigillian year. Should I make sure we do a session on Dabusdan? The final
Yes.
day of
Is
the
that,
Sigillian
is
year?
that their new year?
Basically, yeah.
I was about to say, is that like where we learned the job was done? Or are we gonna have like a very special episode of Salute the Flumph?
No, I think it's just going to be like
Oh,
Green
I
Beer
am
Day.
almost a level. Wow.
You guys will be returning to Sigil on Galia the 4th. That factors in travel time you took like to and from Blue Worm, but none of the time that you spent in the giant woods. So you'll be coming back right in the middle of the Grand Arborian Festival in Sigil.
Whoever just voted for me, thank you, but the poll is closed.